I'm going to be sharing with you in this video 5 signs that you're about to step up to a higher level. You see, sometimes when we're about to step to a higher level of consciousness, into a higher level of reality, or pretty much in anything, maybe you're about to level up in your business, maybe the relationship you've been in whatever area of your life, whether romantic or business related or even friendship, is about to level up to a higher level. Or maybe something in your life is about to upgrade to the next level. There's certain things that might happen in your life that you can actually look out for. And I'm going to be sharing with you what those 5 things are in this video that's going to allow you to look out for when you're about to go to the next level. And it's interesting because sometimes when we're in the midst of an upgrade, we can't see from an objective perspective what's really going on. And we get so lost in the storm and in the chaos of change that we forget we're actually leveling up to a higher level. And I'm going to be sharing with you in this video how to make sure that you remember you're about to level up and how to watch out for these signs so you can know you're on the path to go to a higher level in whatever area of your life that we're talking about. This pretty much applies to everything, but especially your consciousness. So if you're new to this channel, what I want you to do is I want you to hit that subscribe button. I want you to hit that notification bell because I do post a new video every single day. Also, if you want to work with me one-on-one personally, hit the link that's in the description box of this video to apply for a free consultation. Now, the very first sign that you are about to go to a higher level, which I do mention a lot in my videos, but this one is going to be the most important sign, is chaos is beginning to unfold in your life. You see, we're afraid of chaos. That's how we're conditioned in society. We want order, right? We want control. We want to manipulate everything, right? Like sometimes I have this need to control and be like OCD about things. And I never had this when I was younger, but as I go into my spiritual awakening, sometimes I notice that I overly control things. Like maybe I'll make sure that, you know, certain things in my house are perfectly clean or something like that. And it's like, I can actually be conscious of the fact that this is me not embracing chaos, not embracing the change that life can have sometimes. And so it's interesting because sometimes life is calling us to change and then chaos may unfold. What does this mean at a tangible level? This means maybe the relationship that you've been in is starting to fall apart. Now, it's unfortunate from one perspective that maybe a relationship in your life is seemingly coming to an end. Like it hasn't maybe ended yet, but you're almost like sensing in your body that something is coming to an end. Maybe it's a relationship, maybe it's a career path, right? You've heard all this before, but it's just chaos. It's just a reordering of your life. Huge sign. Because you got to realize when you're leveling up to a higher level of consciousness, what's happening is that the form that you are right now is literally like breaking apart, literally speaking. Like your old identity is falling apart. Like, isn't that insane? Isn't it crazy that to level up in life, like the way nature is designed is actually to restructure, to reorder the way things have been, and that means chaos. But then the ego mind, the mind and the ego wants to be like, actually, I don't want this to happen, right? I don't want this chaos. I want things to be the way they are. Now, that's fine, but if you try to cling on to that, you're resisting the upgrade that the universe is trying to bring you. The universe is literally trying to upgrade your consciousness, but then you're holding on. This is why in a very powerful meditation session, what's going to happen is that sometimes you might lose your mind. It's like you might feel like you're going crazy during a spiritual awakening, if you want to call it that. But that's literally what's happening, is you're losing your mind. Not in the sense where, you know, when I say the word losing your mind, there's a stigma in society. You probably imagine some person doing ridiculous things. No, losing your mind is literally losing your mind. Like you don't think as much. You let go of your mind. And that feels scary to the ego. That feels scary to the ego. That feels like uncertain. So chaos is a normal part of the evolutionary process of your consciousness. So don't be alarmed if randomly you feel called to stop being in a certain career, or you randomly feel called to not hang around certain people, or it just seems like everything in your life is just falling apart. Like everything that's normal. It's a normal part of the process. So just want you to know, the first sign is chaos, things falling apart, life falling apart, business going slower, relationships falling apart. Whatever the case is, you're losing stuff and your ego wants to cling on, but you have nothing to cling on to. So just let go and watch what happens when you actually do that. Now, the second sign is you're not thinking as much. You're not thinking as much. You're making decisions less based off of thinking and more based on intuition. That's a huge sign you're about to level up. Doesn't matter if we're talking about business, doesn't matter if we're talking about relationships, doesn't matter if we're talking about whatever. Especially for your consciousness, when you're on the path of upgrading your soul, so to speak, of upgrading your consciousness, there came a point in my life, at least, where I noticed that it wasn't about making logical decisions anymore. It wasn't about logically knowing everything anymore. It was about letting go of logic. It was about letting go of trying to understand everything with my mind. And it's super powerful because when I noticed that I would make more decisions based on intuition, first of all, my consciousness would get higher. Just period. My vibrational frequency just gets higher and higher. Like I start to feel better, not from like I'm better than other people. No, it's like I feel better more and more and more the more that I actually learn to not make decisions based on logic, more that I trust into my feelings. Like I was saying in some of my videos recently, it's like in society we're conditioned to bash against our feelings. Like if you're talking about feelings, like, oh no, can't talk about how you feel, even though that's literally one of the most important assets of life. How you feel? No, you can't talk about that. Yeah, like you can't talk about your feelings. That's cliche, right? And then you have people feeling angry, feeling resentment, feeling miserable. The people that are afraid to talk about their feelings are the same people that feel miserable in their life. And so when we learn to make more decisions that are based on our intuition, what happens is that we begin to level up in life. Watch how your business goes to the next level when you stop making decisions on how you think and you tap into the universal intelligence. Now, the third sign that I want to share with you that you're about to go to the next level is you're learning to trust in the deeper universal intelligence. It sounds cliche. It sounds very esoteric. But the thing is, though, when you can learn to trust in the divine, you know you're about to level up. Look at every single successful person you looked up to. What did they all have in common? They had one thing. They had faith. Even if they were spiritual or not, even if they were into the law of attraction or not, even if they were into anything spiritual, the people that create success in their life, the people that go to the next level, the people that have breakthroughs in their consciousness, they have one thing in common. They have faith. Faith not only in themselves, but faith in the divinity of all that is. And when you get to a certain level, you start to realize that actually you are the divinity of all that is. You are not separate from the oneness of all that is. And that oneness is actually what you're trusting in. But that oneness is you. So you're actually trusting in yourself, but not yourself as this ego. You're trusting in yourself as the oneness of all that is. And so when you learn to trust in the universal intelligence, this is when you are about to get to the next level of your consciousness, of your life, and your whatever. Because the divine will always show you the path that is leading to your highest alignment. Now, the fourth sign you're about to go to the next level is you're more conscious of who you invite into your space. This one was huge for me. When I started to go through my spiritual awakening and I started to follow my passion more, I call it a spiritual awakening, but sometimes people can misinterpret that word. It just means you start to question reality a little bit more. You start to go deeper into yourself. But I'm not going to beat around the bush. Spiritual awakening is what it is. When I was going through my spiritual awakening, what I noticed is that actually I was more conscious of how I felt, right? That's what happens. You start to be more conscious of how you feel. And when you do this, the honest truth is that you start to feel that people impact your energy, okay? People impact your energy. And you also start to realize that you like to do certain things. And you realize that, unfortunately, not from a place of judgment, hopefully you're not doing this. I tried to make sure that I didn't do this. It's not like you want to be angry at people. It's not like you're judging people. It's not like you're angry. It's not like you're being resentful, although sometimes these emotions can come up in life and that's just inevitable. It's just you notice that people are weighing you down. And then so what you start to realize is that you can't be in the presence of the same people you've been in before. And if you connect this back to the first point, you can actually connect this with chaos. You start to notice that actually you can't be around the same people you've been around. You start to feel like you need to have more boundaries in your life. Like even with family, you should like go, actually I can't be around my family so much because I feel drained. And we as empaths like to resist that. We doubt what our intuition is telling us when it comes to actually trusting that we feel like we need to have more boundaries. And this is actually huge because if you want to create success in your life, if you want to get to a higher level of consciousness, if you want to have a successful relationship, you need to have personal boundaries. It's just necessary. Like that's part of what intention entails. Like if you want to level up to the next level of your life, the question I want to ask you is, when are you saying yes to things that you don't want to do? And because you feel guilty, right? Like maybe your family says, hey, can you go and do this for me? And you're like, look, I actually don't really want to do that, but I'm just going to say yes anyways because it's family, right? I have to do it. Now, I'm going to sound like an asshole for saying this, but what if I told you that no, you don't have to do things even if it's for family? Because I know that might sound like selfish, and just hear me out for a second. Can you provide value to the world if you are not fulfilled fully? If your cup is not full, can you provide value to the world? You've heard this before, but we forget this as empaths, as human beings. If you want to provide value to the world, if you want to level up, or even if you don't, if you just want to feel peace in your body, it's like, no, for instance, actually, I don't want to provide value to the world. I just want to feel good. Boundaries. If you want to feel good, you can't always do things for people that you have no desire to do just because you have to do it. No, who decides you have to do it? You did unconsciously. But maybe somebody decided that for you and you agreed to that. But you can get to the point where actually, no, you don't have to do things that you don't actually feel like doing. This sounds so simple, but most people aren't doing it. I did this for the longest time. I just kept saying yes to family, yes to friends, yes to this, but then no to my passion. No to what I wanted to really do with my life. And then I didn't realize I was saying no to the things that I really wanted to do. And then so the truth is, this is just a bonus. Some people are going to think that you're being an asshole. They're going to think you're being selfish. I'm going to make a video on this very soon, but what I noticed in my life is that the more that I raise my level of consciousness, this is going to sound so egotistical, but there's no other way for me to communicate this. So just bear with me, please, because this is going to sound like the most egotistical and selfish thing ever, but just hear me out. when somebody raises their consciousness and begins to love themselves more, the people that do not love themselves are going to perceive this person. I'm making it like a hierarchy. There's no hierarchy. It's all at the same level. So it's all the same level. It's just more love and less love, but that doesn't mean better or worse. And then so I don't even know why I did that. But when somebody begins to, because like you're technically more conscious, so to some degree there's a hierarchy, but it doesn't mean that you're better. So when somebody actually becomes more conscious and more aware, they begin to love themselves more. Now, what's really interesting is that it's kind of a side tangent, but I thought that I would just mention this anyways. What's really interesting is that when we begin to love ourselves more, the people that do not love themselves are going to perceive you as being selfish. So when you begin to align with your heart, you begin to become more selfless at nature. You live from a space of non-ego. You begin to live from a space of selflessness, where you are not being selfish. You're following your heart with probably of an intention of helping the world afterwards because your cup is so full. But the people around you are not going to see it like that. They're going to project their ego onto you and say, actually, you're being selfish. You're being rude for saying no to family. You're being rude for saying no to your friends. When it's just like, I just want to go for a walk in the park, right? It's like you just want to go go for a walk in the park, or maybe you just want to not check your phone or something. It's like, oh, you don't respond to a text for 2 days because this is what happened to me sometimes in the past in family. It's like you don't check your phone for 2 days and then automatically now you're a selfish person. Have you experienced that before? Have you experienced it where you didn't respond to a text? You're just being by yourself just to kind of build your energies, and then the person flips out on you. It's like you don't have to respond when a person wants you to respond. And if you feel that need to respond, then you're probably, I hate to say it, possibly lacking personal boundaries. And so I think I'm extending this point a little bit too longer than needed. But the point is, if you're leveling up to a higher level, you are going to have more personal boundaries. And as a bonus, what I wanted to add is that some people are going to think you're being an asshole. You know, they're going to think you're being selfish, but really you're learning to actually love yourself more and get to a higher level of consciousness, which leads me to the fifth sign that you are about to level up to a higher level. You're beginning to actually love yourself more. Now that's cliche, I get it. I get that that's cliche, but what loving yourself really means at the core is it just means that your consciousness is getting higher. So this means you're not going to tolerate pain as much. You're not going to tolerate self-inflicted pain as much as you actually used to. Because a lot of us stay in relationships, we stay in careers that are out of alignment because we don't realize how much pain it's causing us. If you truly loved yourself, you would not tolerate a negative relationship that is abusive or a job that drains your energy. That's not what loving yourself is. And so what I notice is that loving yourself and starting to have those boundaries and starting to love yourself more, not tolerating the things in life that are lowering your vibration, not tolerating mediocrity in your life. You're saying, wait a second, I don't even care how I'm going to get to the next level. I'm going to jump into uncertainty. I don't know how I'm going to figure out this idea, but you know what? I know one thing. I'm not tolerating this pain that I didn't realize was causing me pain, but it is. So for me, this was software development. I didn't even realize that I was lying to myself. I was living a full-on lie where I told myself that I wanted to be in this program, but I actually hated this program. I actually hated it. I thought that I liked it, but the truth was I actually hated it. And the truth is I actually was not loving myself and I was inflicting pain on myself. And when we realize we're causing pain to ourselves, we're gonna make the choice that's based on loving ourselves, which is not tolerating those things anymore. Because if we loved ourselves, like this is why people stay in toxic relationships. It's a lack of self-love. That's all it is, which is the same thing as saying a lack of consciousness and a lack of awareness, because consciousness is actually love. And so the fifth sign you're about to level up to a higher level is more self-love. You take the choices that are based on not inflicting pain on yourself. And it's interesting because this is how we live in society. We inflict pain on ourselves, but the more that you begin to make those choices where you say, I'm not going to tolerate this negativity any longer, it's like you kind of put your foot down, so to speak. You're going to actually level up and get to a higher level. Okay, so that's all I have for this video. All these signs are signs that you are getting to the next level. If any of these signs resonated with you, hit that like button, leave a comment down below if any of them resonated with you. If you want to work with me one-on-one personally, hit the link that's in the description box of this video to apply for a free consultation. And as always, have yourself a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.